Welcome to Peak Conversation, Deciding on a Career. My name is Jody Waldrop, and I'm a career counselor in career services here at Southwestern Community College. And today we're going to talk a little bit about some tips, tricks, and techniques on helping students narrow down that really big, elusive question, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? So for starters, there are two of us in career services. There's myself, and then there's Michael Despo, the Director of Career Services. So you might meet with one or both of us during your time here at Southwestern. Our home offices are located in the Enrollment Services Center in the Balsam Center at the Jackson campus. However, we meet with students virtually through Google Meet. We also make trips to the Macon campus. So if you're not able to come to us physically to the Jackson campus, we are able to meet you where you're at. In one way, shape, or form. So in terms of what Career Services does, we help students with helping you figure out what you want to do in terms of what you want to study and what career do you want to pursue, as well as helping students connect with local regional employers and helping you obtain employment in Western North Carolina and beyond. So typically that's kind of like the two halves of what we do, with helping you figure out what you want to do and then helping you get a job in that field. So we have a lot of initiatives, lots of different programs, and many resources through our office. So a little bit about the career decision-making process. There is an initiative at SEC known as PEAK, which stands for Professional Exploration and Knowledge. And this initiative is something that we started in 2017, and it's through our office. And the big goal of PEAK is helping students identify their career choice early in college, because research shows that when students are able to articulate that, they are more likely to actually graduate and be happy in their chosen career path. So when you articulate that early in college and you're able to really solidify it, everything else just flows a little bit easier and natural for you with getting into that career field. So PEAK is really about helping students identify that career goal early and then creating a plan to get there. So we do implement PEAK in the ACA class. So basically every student will take the ACA class while they're here at SEC, and they'll complete a career reflection essay and a 5-year plan. But PEAK is something that definitely overflows to all of our programs. We work very closely with some of our programs with helping students gain interview experience or have certain panel discussions. So this is certainly something that is implemented across the college, but it's just a campus-wide commitment to helping students identify their career choice. So on this next graphic, it's the CASAVA cycle, which is very fancy, like theory, so I'm not going to go too in depth with that. But the biggest part that we really are wanting to help students, because you're at that knowing you need to make a career choice. And we really want to focus today on that understanding yourself and your options, because that's where career exploration starts, is just understanding who you are as a person and what kind of decisions do you need to be making, what kind of factors do you need to consider, and then expanding, so searching what all those options are and narrowing it down. So we're really going to focus today on like how to actually get to know yourself a little bit better and find out what's important to you, and making sure it fits with that career goal and helping you narrow down the big circle to a little bit smaller circle and options. So that's really where we're focusing today in this presentation. So a little bit about that career planning process. That first part, knowing yourself, that's a very big key part, and I think it's the most important part in regards to career exploration, because you have to know what's important to you at the end of the day. So oftentimes in career counseling appointments, parts of this that I dive into with students is helping them identify their values. So common ones that are asked is if you want to work in Western North Carolina or you don't. That's certainly a factor to consider with your career exploration, just because we may not have the job market for every single career possibility here. And it's because we're a rural area of the state. So that's an important piece that I think a lot of students want to know is what is important to you in terms of your job location. Other factors that come up is salary. Every student kind of has an ideal salary of what they want to make. as well as time in school. I think that's a good one to always ask students, is just because you need to know how long you want to dedicate to the journey, both in terms of time as well as financing your educational journey. So if you want to just be done in 2 years, it's really good to identify that and before you start exploring options. Or if you're more, I'll go to school for however long I want to or need to, that certainly helps you with that career exploration process. So it's really important to know yourself in regards to some of those questions, but also thinking, what do I like to do for fun? How does that maybe connect to a career option? What type of work do I want to do? Do I want to stand all day and really be on the go, or do I want to be behind a desk? Do I want to be outside? So really thinking of questions like that. And then moving forward in that, exploring your options. By getting to know yourself a little bit more, you're able to really explore the options with a little bit more clarity, because there's hundreds of career options and it can be overwhelming. So by knowing yourself a little bit more, you're able to really hone down into specific options. And then you make your career choice. So you've maybe narrowed it down to one that you really want to pursue, that you feel good with, and you move forward in that choice. Career planning is a process that's always ongoing, because you may, once you're in the field, decide to apply to a different position that's still in that industry, but in a different type of role. Typically promotions is a good example, where you might move into a supervisory role. So you would go through this process again in life. So it's always something that keeps going. So on this next graphic, I really love how it kind of dives deeper into that knowing yourself piece, because it shows the what you do best component and the what you love. So what you do best, those are the natural strengths and abilities. Those are things that just kind of come naturally to you. So an example I always like to use in my presentations is when I was younger and in high school, and even in middle school, I was the person that everybody would come to talk about their problems. That was my role in my friend group. But that was something I always enjoyed doing, because I liked helping them process through the problem. What's a good action that they can take to really solve this problem that they're experiencing in life? What's maybe something I could connect them with? And I should have known then, and I kind of did, but when I considered this in my own career exploration, was I liked counseling people. I liked helping them figure things out. That's just something I naturally did when I was younger, and it's something that I always enjoyed anytime I got to do it. So that was one of my natural gifts and abilities that kind of shown in an early age. But thinking of those things that either naturally come well to you, or you don't necessarily have to work insanely hard to really master it. It just kind of comes to you. And then the what you love piece, those are things you're passionate about. So that's what you do in your spare time. It's your hobbies. It's the YouTube videos you maybe watch. So for me, I always have loved cooking videos. I took a cooking class in high school, and I really considered culinary for a period of time, and I looked into culinary school. I decided, I really just want to do this for fun, and I like doing it with, cooking for my family and my friends, and I love to bake, and that was something I've always loved doing, was baking. But I decided that I wanted to keep that as a passion of mine, but not necessarily pursue as a career option. But sometimes things that we're passionate about are really great careers to consider, in terms of, if it's something you love, is there a possible job opportunity in it? So really considering from that angle as well. And then what the market will buy, that's really what all is out there. What will someone pay you to do? So the idea is that you are going to find your sweet spot within all of this, where it's something you're naturally good at, and it's something that you really love doing, and something someone's going to pay you for. So we really, want you to find your sweet spot. So really considering those options. So we have what we call the peak values inventory, because if you remember earlier when I was talking about the knowing yourself piece, it's really hard sometimes to answer those questions if you've never truly asked yourself those questions of, do I want to live in Western North Carolina, or do I not? Do I like working outside, or do I not? So we have this peak values inventory where it helps you find your 6 must-have work-life values. So it's going to ask you a series of questions, and there's 3 columns of, I definitely need to have this, I would like to have this, or it's really not important to me. So you get to check where those statements fall. And this can help you see what are those top values for you to consider when it comes to your career exploration. So I think this is a really good exercise if you just have never done that for yourself. You can find it on our career and self-assessment tools, which is in our career exploration part of our website on career services. But some of the value in completing this, it's going to remind you of what is most important to you. So everyone's different. So one student's values is completely different than another's. So really being able to articulate what's important to you at the end of the day and where does your career fit into the kind of life you want. Oftentimes I think that we get really lost in the career exploration, really focus on the career piece, but we don't focus on how that career is going to help us have the life we want. So really thinking of what are those values and why are they most important. It's going to help you research those options. It can also help you in creating your why. So a lot of times I use health science students as an example, because when they tell me what they want to do, they have this beautiful story or experience that they had, and sometimes a sad experience that they had that really inspired them to go into the field. So with those students, they have a very strong purpose as to why they want to go into that line of work. So knowing your values can really help you with creating that why. And that why is going to help you through your education, because going to school can be hard sometimes. And it's also going to help you stay motivated in your field. It's going to help inspire you on the day-to-day basis. So really helps you in creating that why. And then knowing your values also connects you to a program of study. So some program of studies definitely have their own type of mission just because of the industry that they're helping students prepare for. So it can really help you with connecting to that. The tool that we have in career services is called Career Coach. So for students who complete the PEAK module in ACA, which is the career exploration module, they take this Career Coach assessment. And it's a Holland Code-based personality assessment. It helps you place your top 3 out of the 6 attributes that are showed in the RISEC model, which is the example given right now. So this is a really, really great assessment tool that helps you know what are the daily tasks for each individual career option, because that's where the exploration part really comes into play. It also shows you what the education you need is, so that connects to that value question of how long do one go to school, what employer skills are looking for, the job outlook in the field. So for myself, that was a high value when I was in college. So knowing what is the job outlook and projection in that chosen career path, as well as the salary you can anticipate. So again, all of that information you get in Career Coach does connect to your values if you've identified where those values lie for you. So by knowing those values, again, you're able to really go into Career Coach in a very smart, strategic way. But it shows you that job outlook on a national scale. But the unique part of Career Coach is it shows you that job outlook in a 100-mile radius. So again, if staying in Western North Carolina is what you want to be, and it's where you want to be long term, this is a very awesome thing about Career Coach is that it helps you see what the job outlook is here. So that 100-mile radius that's selected in the map, you can see it gets close to parts of Atlanta, Columbia. It covers Knoxville, Chattanooga, and it's getting close to Charlotte. So it's within a nice day's drive of home. So really helpful with that. And it also connects to the Indeed job board, which is more of a national job board. We have our own SEC job board in career services, but the Indeed job board kind of shows you a little bit more of the faraway jobs that might be in more cities in North Carolina or beyond. So Career Coach is an amazing interest assessment tool. It really helps show you what is a good fit for you based on your interests. But by knowing your values, you're able to really utilize all that information to the best of your ability. So really completing that values part first and then starting the Career Coach journey. There's informational interviewing. So this is another technique that we often encourage students to do. So a lot of times students have narrowed it down to maybe 2 career options or even the 3 career options. They're just having a hard time deciding. So informational interviewing is when you interview someone in your chosen career field and you ask them a series of questions. So you can ask them anything from, what type of college experiences they had that helped them prepare for this chosen career path, what are the day-to-day life that they live in that chosen field. So there's lots of whatever the student's needing to help them feel more sure in their career choice. They can ask that in an informational interview. And by talking with someone in the field, you're able to feel more positive and sure about your chosen path. So really great way to get valuable information on that industry, as well as connect with someone in that field. That's also a very unique opportunity. We do have a recorded presentation on informational interviewing alone, and it's under our recorded events and presentations on our website. So that's certainly something worth checking out if you're interested in informational interviewing. Another way that I encourage students to do some career exploration is watching videos. So through our library with NC Live, they do have careers and job search videos. So those are recorded informational interviews. So you could go and look up business or accountant, what do they do on a day-to-day basis. So know that our library has a series of resources as well to help you get that more visual component. But I also recommend students to utilize YouTube, because career centers and services offices across the country and international have been recording videos and informational interviews for many years. So anymore, YouTube is a really great resource. Certainly use it to your discretion, because obviously we don't police it ourselves. But typically if you search day in the life of an accountant, that's a really great way to just kind of see what are the day-to-day life for an accountant in some specific. So I have found students really like this because it gives you that visual component, and it kind of makes it feel a little bit more real versus just reading the daily task on a page. So if you're definitely a kinesthetic learner and you learn by doing, certainly utilizing YouTube as a resource, as well as the informational interviewing technique as well. So some other career exploration techniques include job shadowing, where you get to shadow someone for a day and just kind of see what they do. To do this, you would certainly want to contact Michael Despo in Career Services. He works with our employers in the area, so he can connect you with maybe an appropriate employer to have this job shadowing experience. And then in certain two-year programs, there's a work-based learning component where you get to work in that field for college credit, which is awesome. So if you are in a two-year program, certainly contact Christy Wyatt, who's the WBL coordinator for SCC. So those are other career exploration techniques. So when you've decided, hey, I'm going to pursue this degree at SCC that connects to my career goal, whether it's a two-year program in business and accounting, or it's the college transfer pathway. To fill out the change of program form, you can go to the Enrollment Services Center on the Jackson campus or Miss Kristen Blanton on the Macon campus, and you can fill out the change of program form and submit it to our admissions office. And then you'll get connected with your new academic advisor. So very easy process to change your program whenever you've gone through this career exploration process. So that's the end of the presentation, and here are some of the resources. Certainly check out the Career Counseling and Exploration page on our website. Obviously, there are recorded events and presentations with informational interviewing. There's also a 10-minute presentation on the values inventory, a little bit more specific in that, as well as other assessments that we have, and then the change of program form as well. You can meet with myself or Michael Despo by contacting the Enrollment Services Center front desk, which is 828-339-4352, and you can connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.